Hi everyone, I'm Harmony and this is my channel, Harmony Stitches. Thank you so much for taking time to come on over and visit with me and see what I've been working on this week. To everyone that has subscribed, commented, and liked my previous videos, thank you so much. I appreciate all the kindness and welcoming me to the YouTube world. So let's start with finishes because I have a couple. So last week I was stitching Chicken Joy by Stitching with the Housewives for a present that should have been done already. But I did get it finished and I got it ready for display or ready to give. So here it is. It's Chicken Joy, and I don't know if you can see it, but instead of stitching the little Christmas lights with floss, I strung beads. And then I found this ceramic tile. Ceramic tile. It's called a Christmas trivet. I found it at Tractor Supply Company on clearance for $2.99. So I know that we talked about Tractor Supply Company last week when I showed like my little feed bin that I'm gonna put in the kitchen. But oh my gosh, like I got this for $2.99 the week before I got the feed bin. So that is fantastic. My finishing technique was the same as before, as I cut a piece of cardboard the size that I wanted the piece to be, covered it in felt, and then wrapped it with the piece. And then this time I cut two other pieces and wrapped it with green and red to coordinate with the tile. And I think it's so great, and it's such a super finish. The receiver will be able to do anything that she wants with it. If she wants to add a little bow to the middle or to the corner or add a jingle bell or whatever she wants, she'll be able to do it. So I made it a simple finish for her to decide what she wants to do from there. And it's actually the same recipient as the other, the Chicken Love that I showed you a couple videos ago. So I'm super excited. I will be seeing her soon and I can't wait to give it to her. The other finishes I have are one of the whips from last week, which is the wheel spin. I spun Misfortune, and last time you saw it, I had this side of her done, and then part of the border and the bottom, and I finished all the rest of it this week. So that is 2 out of 5 of the series by the Prairie Schooler. I am using 14 count white Aida. I swapped out the 3371 that's called for 310, and I'm using DMC 921 as called for. And this one only called for 3 colors. It actually called for white in the crystal ball and the center of her eye. And because I'm stitching it on white, I decided to skip that part and save me some stitches. So I will put that in my finish pile with the other one, and hopefully I'll be able to get the other 3 finished by October. So we'll see what the wheel spins. And then a couple of videos ago, we talked about why, since I was making good progress on my wheel spin projects, why would I go ahead and set it aside and do a wheel spin for a new project? And I said because I would be able to touch them all. Some of them I'd be able to get done quickly, and then I would go back. So I got Misfortune done, so I went back to a previous whip. I chose His Name is Jesus because I thought I'm going to be able to get this done this week. I have so little left, and I have 3 days. I'm going to be able to get this done, and I did, and I'm so super excited. Here it is, completely finished. So that's the size. So this week, let me fold it in half so I can show you what I did. I completed Prince of Peace, Messiah, Omega, The Way, Redeemer, Jehovah, Kurios, King of Kings, and then in the center, I finished His Name is Jesus. And there was some stitching in His Name is Jesus. It was full solid stitching. But I needed to do most of that first so I could get to the other side, so that way I could use it. What do I tell my daughter? Points of reference. So I stitch certain areas so that way I can get a point of reference so I can stitch and not be off count. I don't want to just randomly, count over all of these stitches and then come to find out I made a mistake and have to rip it all out. So I stitched the J, and then I went up to the H, and then I did Omega, and then I stitched more of the H over here, and then I did all the words going up. And the very last word that I did was Prince of Peace. And then once I got that done, I just had to backstitch of the, for Light of the World, of the was backstitched. So I'm so happy to have that done. My husband and I talked yesterday about how we want to finish it, and we think we're going to get it framed. But frame it ourselves. We want to find like a nice frame for it, kind of distressed wood looking, and put it on foam core and pop it in there. No glass. So that way it's a little bit cleaner looking, and we can put it on the wall, and then that way we can, you know, protect it a little bit more and hand it down to my daughter if she wants it later. So another project that I worked on this week, because I was able to get His Name is Jesus done yesterday, kind of early to mid-afternoon. I said to myself, if I get His Name is Jesus done, I have Misfortune done, I worked on Pandemic, I am going to finish that Norwalk. Because it only had 2 fins and a tusk, and I'm like, I can get this done. So I did, and here he is. He is so super small and cute. So I just had the pectoral fins to do and the tusk. And so what I did is I had to hunt for my crochet hook. I knew exactly which crochet hook I used, and I could not, it was not in the bag. And I'm like, well, okay, I used it for my crochet socks. I went down there, couldn't find it. And then I came back up here because I film in the spare room upstairs. And then I went back downstairs and I finally found it. So by the time I got all that done and I sat down, it was 7:13. It took me 28 minutes to stitch both pectoral fins. And that's because my hands wouldn't like get started. I was trying, so you start them with the magic loop method, and I was trying to get started and I could not get my fingers to cooperate. And I'm like, come on, this is muscle memory. You've been crocheting for so long. You've got this, you can do it. And so it did take me a lot longer than it would have taken if I had have just crocheted them with the rest of the little project. And then a long part too was actually making the tusk. I used some crazy glue that we had out for another project. It didn't get put away yet. And I covered the toothpick all in the crazy glue. And then I wrapped it, but I'm like, okay, now what? Because the second that you set it down, either the yarn's gonna come off, you know, it's gonna spring off of there, or it's gonna stick to something. So I literally sat in the chair holding it for like a half an hour until it dried enough where I could sit it down and the yarns held and it didn't get stuck to the table. So I'm excited to have that done. And the pattern did call for a much smaller smile, and it did call for felt circles for cheeks. I made this for my daughter, and all 3 of us here in the house decided that it was cute just the way it is, and so we're not putting cheeks on it. That's our choice. You make one, you put the cheeks on or not, that you do whatever it is you want to do. And I have this much gray left. I could probably get a whole nother gray narwhal out of this because this is amazing. I don't know why I have so much left. I used a USC or a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook, and it calls for a B hook, which is 2.25. And I'm a pretty tight crocheter, so I knew that I was probably gonna have some left over, but that is a lot. But then I have this, and this is enough to at least to make at least one more. They included a sea green and a blue and white to make him striped, and I don't want to. I don't want to make another one. I knew that there was, you know, when I bought it, I knew that there was enough yarn in the ball, in the small tiny cake to make 2 of them. But after making the first one, I don't want to make another one. I'm done. I'm over it. It's too tiny. And I've made other like animals before where you have to make things like little pieces and sew them on, and I always hate that. I hate it because, like, if you can tell, these are not the same. I mean, they're fairly in the same area, but they're not I don't know, they're just not exactly perfect, and I'm not a perfectionist, but I have a really hard time with them being different. I made the cat from Sailor Moon, can't remember his name. I crocheted one of those, and he's white, and I got it all done, and I gave it to the recipient's mother, and I said, oh my gosh, it looks like an albino baby Yoda, or albino Yoda. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I hate making these amigurumi things. So I don't even know why I bought that. I was walking through the store and I saw it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my daughter would like that. And so I made her one, and the yarn's just gonna sit. I'll either find a different project or find another use for it or something. I don't know, but I'm like done with it. I don't want to do it again. So the next thing is wheel spin so I don't have any other whips except for Pandemic. So I don't have anything like that to show you, but now we have the wheel spin for this week. I did this morning, and I came up with Who's There. So this will be, if I can get this done this week, it'll be number 3 out of 5, and I really don't have a ton left. I already started working on it this morning, so I'll show you how far I got. I do have a thread here. I have it parked so that way I can keep my spot. So this morning when I started, I had the tree and part of the house, this skeleton and the lock, and then this key and hand, and that was it. So I stitched this whole skeleton and border, and then I started on the leaf and the owl up there. So I've got quite a bit done already. The house is pretty large, and that owl is taking me, I think, 3 threads already, and that's only half of his body. So it will take me a little bit, but today's only Sunday, and I've already made great progress. So I think that this could be another finish this week. So my whip pile is going to be cut way down. So I'm super excited. I'm going to knock some of these things out. So again, I'm using 14 count white Aida. I did substitute again the 3371 for black DMC 310, still using the same orange color, which is 921, but this chart calls for DMC 898 for the roof of the house and the roof of the porch and the ground, and I didn't like that. I got the idea to do the whole thing in black from another person here on YouTube. So I continued on with that idea, and it does make it a little bit more challenging because of the counting and the separation between the bottom of the house and the top of the lawn, but I can do this. I can do it. I'm gonna get it done. So hopefully I'll be able to show you that next week, and I'm so excited about it. Not only because I'll be able to finish those for this Halloween, but just to get my whip pile down just a little bit more. I mean, even my crochet projects, what do I have? 3 crochet projects, and now I only have 2. So I am excited about that. And one is a pair of socks, and the one sock is almost done, so I can knock out that one of those crochet projects soon too. So I almost forgot Pandemic. I know you've seen this 4 times. This is the 4th time already, but I did get some progress done. I did work some more up here on the flower basket here. And then I did all of this, and look at, I got both of my initials in, and then I got this done. So my plan to move across the top is working. Not as much progress this week as what I wanted, but I was working on Misfortune. Yesterday, I was hoping to get the narwhal done a little bit earlier so that way I could put some strands in to Pandemic before I went to bed. But we had an unexpected trip to the city, so I was not able to work on that. But that's okay. That's okay. I'll work on it this evening. I'll put my strands in, and I'm still on track to have it done at the end of the year. And you know what? I had that thought that I should talk to you about my plan for that and how I decided that I thought that I would be able to get it done by the end of the year. So let me talk about that really quick. There are 20 pages in the pattern Pandemic by Long Dog Sampler. So if you divide that out, it's 1 1/4 pages per month. which seems like a lot, but some of the pages have a lot of open space. Others have a lot of stitching and a lot of counting, but I figured it would all even out in the wash, as they say. But another thought that I had was that it takes on 28 count, which that's what I'm using, is 28 count Monaco, antique white or ivory. Like I said before, they came in the same shipment from a Facebook retailer, so I don't know which one is which. And I'm using DMC 915 that I got off of a cone. So if on 28 count or 14 count Aida, it takes 49 and a half skeins. In 49 and a half skeins, you have 2,376 lengths of floss. Yes, I am being a little bit nerdy, using my math skills, but this is how you can really like set daily goals or weekly goals, monthly goals to be able to get projects done in the allotted time. You don't really want to stress yourself out, but if you really want to get it done, you can plan it out. You can do the same thing with crochet or knitting. How fast do I knit? How many rows can I get a day? And divide things out. So with 2,376 strands of floss that need to go into this project, I figured that's 6.5 strands per day for 365 days. So right now, well, as of yesterday, I didn't get any strands put in it yesterday. I believe I had just over 7 on average strands per day. Friday, I had 7.48 on average. So I am a little bit ahead of schedule. I am almost at the equivalent of 2.5 pages. So by floss calculations and by page calculations, I am ahead of schedule. And the reason why I want to be ahead of schedule is because I know that later on in the year, one, I'm going to be burnt out on it, or two, I'm not going to have as much time to stitch. For instance, next week, I'm having oral surgery, and I know that I'm going to lose at least 2 days of stitching. So on my wheel spin project, on any knit crochet projects, on my pandemic, I am going to lose at least 2 days of crafting. So if I can get ahead and then something like that comes up, then I'm all set and I don't have to stress about it, because I really would like to get that done by the end of the year. And my husband said, well, what are you going to do with it when you get done? I said, I have no idea. He said, well, how big is it? And I said, let me check. Stitched area, the design area on 28 count is like 20 something by 30 something, like 26 by 30 or something like that. And he said, it's huge. And I said, yes, I know it's huge. It's going to be the biggest project that I'm probably ever going to do in my life. I probably will not do another one this big. It's really not even my style, but I'm participating in a stitch along in Michigan to encourage others who really wanted to do it, but thought that they couldn't because it was too intimidating. But I'm finding that it's a really enjoyable stitch. So I'm not even mad. So he said, I think you need to get it framed because that's a lot of work to do nothing with it. So I do realize that it's going to cost a lot of money. I'm going to have to save up my pennies. He does not know how much money it's going to cost yet to frame it, but I really do believe that it's going to be a really great piece to add to the decor downstairs. So enough about pandemic. I hope that you understand the way that I calculated how much I had to do each week or each day or each month to get done. If you have any more questions about that, then go ahead and comment in the box below and we can have a chat about it. Because I do that with other projects too. So last time I showed you these magnetic twist ties that I got from Amazon, that I'm like, hey, these things are like way too short. They don't really hold anything. Well, I did find a good use for them. When I stitch in hand, so I roll my fabric to get to the area that I want to stitch, so that way I'm not touching the stitches. I found that you can roll some, and then you can use the twist tie, and it will hold it on top. But with the Monaco, it has to be directly on each side, has to be on one piece of fabric. If you try to put 2 pieces of fabric in between the magnets, it won't work. It works on Aida, but it doesn't work on Monaco. So I don't really understand why. I'm not trying to figure it out. But also, I have my iPad on this metal stand that my family got me for Christmas last year. And so they stick to it. And then my needle sticks to it. So I kind of use it as a needle minder. So this one I had around the little pole of the iPad stand, and it has my needle on it. So I'm not going to send them back. I am going to use them. I have way more than I need, but it's okay. I'm just going to go on. They were only $4.99. But with that purchase on Amazon, I needed to add a little bit more to the shopping cart to get free shipping for my mother-in-law, which is okay. I ended up getting these bags, these plastic bags. I think there was 10 or 12 of them, 2 of each color, like blue, purple, green, clear, and then the yellow. I got them for project bags because I was using a lot of Ziploc bags, which is nothing wrong with that. But sometimes the Ziploc bags aren't quite the size that you need. I wasn't able to zip them up sometimes because the fabric was sticking out. And then when I did, just small projects like the Chicken Joy, I didn't have a bag to put it in, so I was just sitting there on my table. So I was able to grab, because I had these now, I was able to grab an empty one, throw the Chicken Joy stuff in, and have it be protected in between stitches. So I did have those. I do have a few extra, especially now that I'm getting my whips down, but I do know if I participate in a Stitch Mania or a March Madness or something like that, or a Christmas in July, or anything like that, then I will need a couple more bags. And I think last time I told you that I was stalking Pumpkin Hollow Quilts on Etsy. I will definitely link her below. I love her. She's here on YouTube, so go ahead and check her out. I think she just had her 2 or 3 year anniversary on YouTube. I was stalking her Etsy. But then I ended up spending all the last of my spending money on the little feed bin at Tractor Supply. So I told my husband, can I use my February spending money? It's not February. I don't have my spending money. But he said, yeah, go ahead and do that. And which we don't give each other permission on what to buy, but because it wasn't February yet, it has to go on the credit card, and how all that works. So he said, yeah, go ahead and get it. I don't have any problem with that. You just pay, you pay the credit card when you get your money. So she posted an update, and I saw this and I had to get it. And it has bees and thistles and some cute text, and it's all along the back. And I just thought it was adorable. And the inside, it is lined with just some white. It does have like little flowers on it, but I'm not sure if you can see it real well because it's white on white. So I did get this. I believe that she has 5 bags left in her shop. I just checked a little while before I came up here to film. 2 of them are Olaf bags, like Olaf from Frozen, and they're like almost little sketchy Olafs, so they're a little artistic. I can't believe that they're still there. When I saw them, I thought, oh, they're gonna sell out right away. This one sold out right away. She had 2, I bought one, somebody else bought one. They were the ones that sold first. So go ahead and check out Pumpkin Hollow Quilts here on YouTube and on Etsy. She has one, I think she's got some grime guards, so if you use those for your Q snaps, she's got some of those. She has 1 mini quilt left. She has a mug rug or coaster left, and then she has the 5 project bags and 1 needle minder that she embroidered. So go ahead and check her out. She isn't able to put a lot up there at one time because she's doing other things too. But when she does an update, there's usually about 5 to 10 bags. So follow her on Etsy and give her a like and check out her things and wait for another update if you're not able to make it in this one. Like I said, I had to borrow from February's money, so I only get a little bit, and I spent all of February's money on this because my husband and I have a financial plan and we only get a little bit of money, and that's okay. Of course, don't we all wish that we had more, but that's okay. That's what I get, and I am completely happy with my purchase, and I'm completely happy that I was able to support her again. This is my second bag from her, and I will continue to buy more. My husband said, well, wouldn't it be just, and this was before I bought this one, he said, well, wouldn't it be better for you to just make them yourself? One, I'm a novice stitcher. I'm a novice sewist. I've made a couple with vinyl fronts. They haven't fallen apart yet. But what I did tell him is I said, I am completely happy with giving Olivia my money. Like, I'm completely happy. Here, Olivia, here's my money. Send me a bag. Because when I'm sewing something, that sewing machine makes me have anger management problems, and I'd rather just buy the pretty bags from Olivia. So give her a look. Go find her here on YouTube. Give her a subscribe. Watch some of her videos. She does quilting and cross stitch on her videos. And I don't, like I said, I'm a novice sewist. I really try to not sew anything, but I still enjoy watching her show her quilting things because I appreciate the hard work that goes into that. So go ahead and give her a like. She's my shout out for this week. Go Olivia. I think that's all I have for you. Hopefully next week I will have something to show, a finish and some major progress on pandemic. I don't think that I'm going to get to any knitting or crochet this week. But we'll see. You never know, because I said that last week and I got the narwhal done. So again, one more shot of the little tiny narwhal. Have a great week and have fun stitching. Bye.